Hello there and welcome back to another video on my channel. How are you doing today? Today I'm going to be giving you a little short, sharp and sweet video on why I am going to be giving up my blog for the next foreseeable future. To be completely honest with you, I've had nothing but challenges with it this year. After paying the annual cost for it, which was around £330 for the entire year, it then stopped working about 2 weeks after that. And what I mean by that is that it would allow me to log on, it would allow me to create things and do the blogs, but it wouldn't allow me to view the website itself. It would just show up with what I have now learned is the white screen of death, and it wouldn't actually let me schedule any blog posts as well. My provider for my website said that this was because of a virus called malware. But I thought that I had malware protection because I have it, it's covered under McAfee on my computer. And I asked McAfee if that would cover it and they said yes, so I just presumed I had it. And when I ran the actual McAfee protection thing to scan the computer and everything, it said I had no issues. So why this was still coming up as an issue for my blog, I just couldn't get my head around it, which made it incredibly frustrating. It took a further call to the people who kind of like provide my provider of my website and a very patient representative to explain that the malware that was covered via my McAfee only did my computer, it didn't do my blog as well, which was again frustrating as I had been told that it would cover both, but that's by the by. My provider of course offered to sort this for me, but it was going to cost me an additional £50, and it could also take another week to solve on top of the good few weeks, if not few months, that I had actually had to wait for it to work anyway. So I paid the money to them, which was something I didn't want to do because I didn't feel that I should have to pay for it. And in the time that they were actually sorting it and the times that it was actually my blog wasn't working, I was seriously questioning whether I should just continue with it or whether I should give up on it. But by this time I had spent over £350 odd running it, protecting it, working it, and I didn't really have the money to justify wasting that by not continuing it. So they fixed the problem for me, and that was exactly what I needed to happen. Then a couple of weeks ago I paid for something called SSL, which I still to this day don't fully understand, but I believe it's to like secure my website, which of course is something that I know I need to pay for, and that's completely fine. I have no issue paying for that, other than the fact that it's yet another cost that I have to pay with very little money in my bank account. Then 2 weeks ago I kept getting emails in my junk box. I know that I get my emails, if anyone sends me an email from my blog to me, for some reason it goes into my junk box, so I do have to keep an eye on it, and I do get a lot of junk emails via that, which I'm not going to go into. But there were quite a few things for something called Word Defense, which is a free plugin that I have on my WordPress website, blog, whatever you want to call it, and that's to kind of protect it. It stops people signing in straight away onto my website, like attempts and things. So it gives them 3 attempts and then it blocks them out completely, including myself sometimes when I've mistyped or something, which is slightly annoying, but it's for a purpose, so I'm not angry about it. So the emails I was getting in my junk box from Word Defense were these emails saying that, which I had before, where they were saying that people had tried to log into my account but no one had actually successfully done it. But these ones I had about a good 40 odd saying that people from all over England had managed to get into my website using my username and they'd cracked my password. So knowing this, I immediately changed my password afterwards, and then about 2 hours later, or actually the following day, I looked at my emails again, and even though I had changed my password to something I thought I would be able to remember, people had still managed to get into my website. So during my lunch break at work on Friday with my mum, I actually went on and it generated a password for me, which was like a load of numbers and symbols and big and small letters and stuff like that, and I copied that over and I changed it, and that was about 12:15 Friday just gone. And then by the time I'd finished work, got to where we were having dinner that night, I logged on to my emails, and at 4 o'clock, even though I had changed that password, people were still getting, one person had managed to still get into it, and it just doesn't make me feel safe anymore. because there's nothing, as far as I know, of my personal information on there. There's no bank details on there other than my age, and I don't think my full name is on there. It still doesn't make me feel safe. Plus, what they could be doing to my website is an incredibly scary thought, and what they could be adding to it that could affect other people who just happen to come on my website is terrifying to me. So I checked out the Word Defense website themselves, because it said clean my website for me, and that's going to cost me around $173, which I think in pounds is about 150 odd pounds, which is yet another expense that I'm going to have to pay for something that will clean my website once, not keep it clean and keep it protected. As you may or may not know on here, I don't know if I've actually said it on here, sorry, or written it on my blog. I don't know if I've done both. But I look after him for 6 days a week, 24 hours a day, because I happen to live with him as well, other than the night that I go to my dad's. And the money for that is minimal. It's actually the same amount of money that I earn working 1 day a week at my mum's firm. And that's not even a full day work. That is 9 till 3 or 4. So with those two combined, I simply cannot afford these expenses that are keeping coming up and that have no guarantee of actually protecting, keeping my website safe, and I don't want it on my conscience worrying about other people who could come on my website. I don't even care about myself, to be honest. I don't want people to come onto my website and find themselves hacked and find it's my fault because of something that I cannot simply afford to do. The whole point of this blog, the whole point of my career, is so that I can give something back to these people, and I do not want that to be a virus or a hacking or anything that can give anyone the tiniest bit of grief that I have had to suffer. And so although I really don't want to do this, I'm going to let it sort of die out for now. I'm going to keep the website name and all of the information that I've put on there. I'm going to move on to my emails so I've got it, so that when I do have the funds behind me and I have the savings and I can realistically afford to keep a website like this going, I want to be able to put all of this stuff back on there and reinstate it with everything that I want for it right now that I just simply cannot do or afford or allow the time for. So for now, instead of doing that, I'm going to focus more on this channel, and I'm also going to focus on Instagram, as that is my only form of social media for my work. So I want to make that more of a big thing and a more important part of my day and to deal with, of course, along with the baking videos and just YouTube videos in general. And finally, things that just make me happy, which is also what I want this to be, and it's currently not with the blog, so getting rid of that will be a nice sort of like cleansing thing for me, I think. So that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments of anything else you'd like to see me do on this channel. And finally, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye! Magic, did you really have to snore throughout that entire thing?